Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses from 22 to 23. And after the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they carried him to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. As it is written in the law of the Lord, every male opening the womb shall be called holy to the Lord. We had seen that, as prescribed by the law, 8 days after his birth, Jesus was circumcised and given his name, presumably in a synagogue or even at home. 40 days later, according to the Mosaic law, the Holy Family goes to Jerusalem to obey 2 ritual prescriptions of the ancient law: the purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the presentation of the Son as the firstborn male. We thus have 2 protagonists here, the mother and the son, the new Eve and the new Adam. The first did not need purification because, being immaculate, that is, conceived without original sin, she did not suffer the bodily consequences of that sin. Yet, Mary humbles herself and obeys the prescription, so as not to become proud and not to be a cause of scandal for others. In Leviticus chapter 12, verses from 1 to 8, the rite of purification is prescribed. This rite reminded the women of Israel that the pain of childbirth and the physical condition that resulted from it, often involving infirmity and loss, is a sign that human beings transmit their corrupted nature, i.e., original sin, to their offspring. If it were not for the atonement of Christ and the sanctification of the Holy Spirit, the original blessing, "Be fruitful and multiply," as we read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, would have become a curse, as it transmits the ancient guilt and its associated penalties. The same applies to the rite of circumcision for males. Furthermore, Leviticus prescribed the following: if the mother gave birth to a male, she was to be considered unclean for 40 days, 7 plus 33. If the mother gave birth to a female, she was to be considered unclean for 80 days, 14 plus 66, which is the same period for a male child multiplied by 2. Behind these prescriptions are precise symbolic references. In fact, for the ancient Hebrew mentality, numbers are symbols, vehicles of teachings. The number 7 recalls natural perfection. When a new life comes into the world, in a certain sense, creation, biblically completed in 7 days, is renewed. The number 33 is related to divinity. The number 3 is indeed a reference, still implicit in the Old Testament, to the Trinity. The number 40 signifies trial, or rather penance, which the believer is called to live to redeem themselves. It is the multiplication of 4 by 10, where 4 is the number of man and 10 is the number of justice. Think of the 10 Commandments. This same period is doubled in the case of the birth of a female. In biblical language, repetition is a sign of confirmation, of exaltation. This extension of time reflects an increased sense of the mystery of the transmission of life. The girl shares the same condition with the mother because she herself might one day generate life. So what do these prescriptions mean beyond the metaphor? There is a wonderful revelation for women in this passage. Childbirth can be experienced. It is not automatic. As participation in the redemption of Christ, if the woman knows and lives that wonderful gift that is pregnancy as a just penalty for original sin that grafts into divine life. For this reason, St. Paul says very concisely and directly, "Yet she will be saved through childbearing, if they continue in faith and love and holiness with self-control," as we read in the first letter of St. Paul to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 15. It is the great biblical refutation of the modern follies of feminists.